What is going on, guys? Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. We have a little bit of a market roundup. We're going to try to keep these shorter from now on so we can kind of get in and get out of here. We're going to break them up into different blogs and different videos. That way you can kind of get some quick hitters in and out of here. And we got some really interesting things going on. And we see a sell-off in the dollar, in the DXY, the relative strength of the dollar. Remember, the dollar is crashing long term against all things of actual value, but it's going up or down relative to other currencies in the DXY, which we'll see right here. Check this out really quick. So we're seeing we're down at 101. It's just been crashing. So you see, liquidity in the market starting to rise because of the dollar crashing, easing in the market, and there's something going on here that we really aren't clued into here yet. None of us are able to get that information necessarily. However, there is some people out there that are the sounding line. There are articles, there are things out there you can go find where they're talking about what we've been saying for a little while. Interesting. Well, as we can see these charts here. And let me find it again. We can see these charts of all of a sudden, like we've been saying now for the last couple of months, things have topped out. The rates have topped out. The dollar strength has topped out compared to a basket of a handful of other currencies. Remember, again, it's only comparing the dollar to a handful of other currencies. Overall, the dollar, as we've talked about a million times, is getting destroyed by anything of value. Here's the dollar versus Bitcoin the last 7 years. How does that chart look? Dollar getting absolutely taken to task. Remember this, if you denominate your life in dollars, life will get much, much more difficult for you and much more expensive. This has been throughout the course of time here. And the last 100 years, especially the last 10 years, Bitcoin magnifies that, amplifies that. If your life is built on Bitcoin and things of actual value, your life gets cheaper. So here's your eggs you buy in the last 7 years on Bitcoin. So going through the floor, you can buy entire farms now. Here it is. If you are buying eggs with dollars over the last 50 years, you're getting more and more expensive. So what are you denominating your life in? And as we've been saying for a while now, the banks are under the table buying bonds, stimulating, and going to cause more inflation because this is what they want. They want full control. They want people on their hands and knees begging them for bailouts, begging them for CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, begging them for stimmy checks, begging them for anything and everything, give all their liberty and freedom to the government and say, yes, just give me that almighty dollar, give me that almighty fiat currency so I can just make it one more day, watch one more sporting event, watch one more fantasy sporting event, make it one more week in my Roman Coliseum here, and buy one more six-pack. This is the average American, this is the average person. Hate to say it, we have to start calling out things for what they are. The average person is completely lost, completely confused, because they choose to be. At the end of the day, this information is here. I've been studying this and investing in building businesses for 12 flipping years after I played hockey my entire life and got to the highest levels of playing hockey, playing for the United States of America. And I did that because I worked my behind off. I did that because I chose to operate on simple frameworks, simple foundational nature's principles, first principles, immutable laws that can't be changed. The definitions can't be changed over time. Gravity doesn't change over time. Hard work doesn't change over time. Putting in the reps doesn't change over time. This is why. And when you look on the surface and don't just take the parrots, the talking mouth, talking heads, their words for everything, you start digging deeper and understanding, there's a game being played here. This side's getting bailed out. That side's getting bailed out. You have to be able to pick your head up out of the noise. Find the signal in the noise. Ask yourself why things don't make sense. Start digging into that. My goal here is to give us the ability to see these things. So ask why and give us frameworks to what we're doing. The dollar is getting crushed. So what are we going to do about it? Coming back here, as we've seen now, Dr. Jeff Ross saying that he thinks the tides have kind of turned. We're now seeing articles. I'm now seeing a bunch of things. Lynn Alden saying that she thinks it's going to be maybe a softer recession. So is the Fed going to be successful with the soft landing? Who knows? I mean, apparently they're buying stuff up. The trades are going a different way where we've got more easing. That's going to mean inflation's here to stay, guys. This is one of those things like the 70s or 40s where you had wild inflation throughout the decade. Inflation doesn't just go away. It's going to do this and just wildly swing. And many people, nearly everyone is calling for that an inflationary decade, really a lost decade if you're investing in stocks. This is why you have to be in the hardest money in the world so that way you can outpace that. As Warren Buffett says, we like him and don't like him here. But he does say one of the good things he says is you need to be at least 20 to 25% in your returns each year to beat inflation and taxes. So Are you doing that? Are you getting that? Are you getting that in the bonds, at the couple percent you're getting in bonds? Are you getting that in the couple percent in your portfolio, your 401k, your pension? I'll answer that for you. You're not. What's going to do that? This is not financial advice, this is freedom advice. I want you to be free. I want you to be free and able to make your own decisions, get your own health care, get your own child care, get your own school choice, be able to get the resources you need to be independent, be resilient, and not have anyone tell you what to do. That's what this is all about. That's what the community we're building, that's what this is about. So DXY, just cratering. We have stocks largely kind of flat today, but again, S&P over 4,000 here. I mean, we see now Bitcoin's price pumping. So we're seeing this across the board, at 23,000 flat, up again a tiny bit because the DXY is going down and because we have the bond market. I mean, this is just crazy. It really is crazy. So, and then we have the bond market here. You can see the dollar kind of chopping lower lows and lower highs and chopping downward. This is going to continue. It's at 5 or 3.4. So it's 3.46. So it's just continually chopping downward. And we have to watch a DXY. We have to watch the 10-year yield. These are the things. And again, people get caught up in this, like, oh, I'm going to invest in 3-month treasuries, and this is my great. Go for it. Do these things where you're going to arbitrage the market. I am not smart enough, nor do I care enough to be watching daily as to what is actually going on arbitraging things. I want my money in sound, primary, principled assets that anyone can do. These are things that anyone can do. Anyone can go buy some Bitcoin and keep their money out of the system, out of the hands of anyone in the world, in self-custody, in your cold storage wallet. You buy it on an exchange like Swan or Strike, boom, couple clicks, copy, paste an address, boom, off your cold storage. Within a minute, you are sovereign. You are free, totally free forever. Your children are free. Your grandchildren are free forever. Nothing else can do that. Gold, silver, anything else. I can still knock on your door. I can take your stocks from you. I can take your life insurance. I can take over the company. I can destroy it. I can take your gold and silver. I can beat you over the head. But can't do that with Bitcoin. If it's in your head and that's the only place it is, and I take you out, that goes too. Guess what? The less Bitcoin there is now, it's a deflationary currency. Now the more valuable every existing Bitcoin there is. So I have to negotiate with you with Bitcoin. If I want your Bitcoin, I have to negotiate with you if it's in cold storage. If it's on an exchange, then good luck. You're going to get taken rug pulled just like the fiat legacy system in banks. See, Cyprus, Greece, Venezuela, Argentina, everywhere. It's going to happen here. It's already happened here. It's already lost 99% of its value. So that's the update for today. Like I said, I want to keep these short. We're going to have some other videos and other little micro videos here about what's going on. Some fascinating articles. Bill Gates in the news. In Nolan Bowerley, again, the simulation nodding and winking at you. Shout out to him. Bill Gates. What does Bill Gates' name stand for? It's a toll booth. Bill Gates. He's a toll booth, right? He's got some incredible things. So watch the next couple of videos we have. Some unbelievable things that are going on. The Beef Initiative, things like that, things we're going to talk about, and just some incredible opportunities going forward if you value your health, if you value freedom, if you value sovereignty, your wealth, and your family. This is the time. This is the time that Tribe Men Souls. What are we going to do? Crude oil bumping, fastest pace we've seen in years, surging back in, the fastest pace in 5 years, up to $80 now. And again, this is another reason I'm saying to you, this is going to be one of those decades when you have a commodity super cycle and oil's going up and their governments are doing dumber and dumber things with ESG and all this fake garbage. Oil is going to go up in price, meaning inflation goes up because it's now more expensive to do everything. This is the game they are playing. This is the Davos crowd was just there last week doing this. We've been talking about this for 20 years. I literally have been talking about this for 20 years. Who anyone will listen. Very few do. And then they look back when it's too late and say, oh my goodness, I wish we'd have known about this. I'm telling you now, it's 2023. I'm telling you now, there's been very few people that have listened over the last 2 decades. But it didn't make me popular as a young kid talking about things like this. So be it. I knew there was a calling, there's something deep inside me that these things need to be talked about. The truth shall set you free. Are we going to actually talk about the truth and what is actually going on in the world here? So again, oil up, gold and silver up, and staying there. So this is the time. This is the time. And to Dr. Jeff Ross and Lynn Alden's credit, what are we going to see here? Could we see a softening? Could we see some, because again, at the end of the day, the government cannot print or keep the rates up forever. They had to start printing. You know, this had to start happening where the global central banks are doing net QE. Inflation has to rise. So they have to do, like we said, the base case is they have to do financial repression at the end of the day. So don't let all that stuff fool you. We watch the metrics. We look at stuff like this to see where things are at.